everyone, Megan Purcell here from megsteachingjourney.org, and I am here today giving you some tips and tricks on bookings. Something that I see a lot from new teachers are, how do I get bookings? What can I do? When's it gonna start happening? Well, I've got some things that can hopefully help you get those bookings and things to do while you are waiting. So we are gonna jump right in and we're gonna talk all about getting those bookings. Okay, so tip number one is time. So time, we all have it, right? So time is something that when it comes to VIPKID and getting bookings, it takes time. So, for my personal journey, it took me about maybe like a month and a half to 2 months, probably at 2 months, I was getting a consistent schedule. All my slots were beginning to get filled. But at first, I waited a while and nothing happened, and then a trial class would pop up or an assessment class would pop up. Yes, I think one of my very first classes was an assessment. And if you've not dealt with assessments yet, like if you don't know what they are, there's videos on that, and I'm gonna make one on that as well. But my first class was an assessment, I think. And so so you might get a trial, you might get an assessment, you might get a master course, but they do take time and you do have to be patient. Patience is key when it comes to waiting for those bookings to come rolling in. But I promise you they will. You just have to be patient. And then something that I did that really helped me is that I kept my schedule at first really consistent. So we know that when we become VIPKID teachers that we do have control over our schedule and that we can make our own schedules. But at first, I highly recommend opening the same slots for at least 2 months. So I started in the summer, which was really convenient. So I was able to open up those consistent bookings. At the time I worked at an elementary school. I don't now. I do VIPKID full time, which is awesome. But anyway, so I was able to keep my bookings really consistent. I would open up, I think at that time I was doing 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. classes at that time, and I did that Monday through Saturday. And I kept it very consistent, same bookings every week. And then slowly but surely they began to fill up. And as I became more seasoned, I was able to, be like, oh, okay, well, on Wednesdays I want to watch my niece. So I'm going to, close some of those slots, but still keep some open. And you will eventually get that freedom. But at first, consistency is key with your time. Okay, so now we're gonna jump right into tip number 2, which is train. So a lot of people think like, oh, I've become a VIPKID teacher, and so now I'm just gonna wait for bookings to roll in. Don't do that. There are some things that you can do to train and be better prepared for when you do start getting those consistent bookings. And VIPKID has all kinds of really helpful ways for you to do this. And I'm going to get on my computer and I'm going to give you a close-up of everything, but just to give you a glimpse of what you can do with your teacher portal. Once you get in there, you can go up here to resources. Okay, resources. Whoa, there we are. Right there. So you can go into resources and you can check out all of this stuff. If you look right here, they have that new teacher kickoff section, and there are all kinds of really helpful things in there for you as new teachers. But what I want you to pay really close attention to is this guy right here. So we've got workshops, and so I'm gonna hop on my computer really quickly and I'm gonna show you the workshops that they have available to you because they are so helpful and you're gonna love them. So here we go.
All right, so once you log into your teacher portal, some things that I want you to check out to help you get those bookings. And we were talking about those workshops. So let's get into there. So when you log into your teacher portal, you're going to go to resources and then you're going to hit library. And here are those new teacher kickoff sections that I was telling you about. You can click more, and there's all kinds of things that you can use in there that'll help you get prepared for your class. But what I really want us to pay attention to is this right here. So we're going to click here and we're going to look at what kind of workshops VIPKID offers to their teachers for free. So here we go. Here we have a list of things. Take a look at this category section. If it says new teachers workshop, that's something that's really going to be beneficial for you as a new teacher and can get you ready for maybe your first booking or your maybe first couple bookings so that you can get those students coming back to you. So writing effective feedback, great. Unit assessments and final projects, I really recommend this one. Like I said, my first class was a unit assessment and I did not know much about it. So please check this one out. Man, these new teacher kickoffs are really great. Marketing yourself. Yes, yes, yes. Any of these with the teacher, TPR and demonstrations, man, those are really good. That's the key to the student retention, and that is really helpful. Man, all of these are really, really great. And so I just recommend you getting on there and signing up for these workshops. You see they have different times available here, but if none of these work for you this week, you can always take a snapshot view into next week and book these workshops. There's workshops going on all of the time, so you'll be able to jump in there and get some of these workshops done. And they're really helpful and they're super fun. Don't be intimidated by them at all. All right, so now something else that I do want to take a look at is we're going to go into resources and click on certification. We're going to talk about trials in just a little bit, but I want us to look at these master course certifications. So whenever you complete your mock class, if you completed a level 2 or level 3, you will get those certifications. You'll get that level 2 certification, and you might want to go back in and review level 3 just to be prepared. And then if you did a level 4, level 5 certification, you'll have that level 4 and 5 certification as well. But I recommend going in and getting more certifications. Now, when I first started, I just certified for every single level that came available to me. And I kept them all. And what's really great, if you get in there and you teach a level 6 student and you hated it, you can go in and remove that certification. But the more certifications you have at first, you will end up getting more bookings. Now, don't just do those level certifications and not pay attention. Really pay attention to how they're taught and how to effectively teach them. Follow the directions and make sure you know how to teach each level appropriately. But the more levels that you are certified in, the more bookings you will get. And again, like I said, if you end up hating that level, you can go in and remove it. And then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about these trials here in a little bit.
So there you have it. So that resource tab within your teacher portal is going to end up being your best friend. So check out both the introduction page that tells you what the workshops are all about and which ones they offer. And then you can check out the actual workshops that they have available that you can sign up for. They are free. And that is amazing that they offer that to you. So sign up for any and all of them that apply that I showed you, because they're really, really going to help you and get you prepared for your class. So when you do get that very first booking, you can wow your student and they will fall in love with you, and then they will tell their friends, and they will tell America, and they will tell China. You know, maybe not quite like that extreme, but you get the idea. Okay, so we are moving right along to tip number 3, which is prepare. So when you do get that first booking, we want to make sure that you are super prepared for that class so that you can teach it well, know the material, and wow your student and get them to come back to you. So my recommendations are, as soon as you get that booking, open up your teacher portal and I can show you how to do this as well on my computer after we talk about it. But you'll go to your teacher portal and you'll click on your booking schedule and you'll go to classrooms, and then it'll show you feedback, material, student. And so you're gonna click on materials and it's gonna pop up, and you can do this on the app and you can do this on your computer. And it's gonna show you all of the slides. And so I just encourage you to flip through those slides, know them well, take notes. Something I did when I got my first class, I had like Post-it notes all around my computer reminding me of things to do. And that was really, really helpful for me. Do I still do that? Absolutely not. I don't prepare at all for my classes anymore, but at first I did. And so I made sure that I knew what I was teaching my student, and then I made sure that I had my props set out ready to go, kind of like right in front of me, so that I would remember, oh, grab that star or grab that ball. And so prepare your props ahead of time. Think of anything that you can do to make your lesson more interesting, but also make sure you stick to those lesson objectives. You correct your student, so make sure that you're listening really, really closely for any errors that they make. All of these things are really, really important when it comes to teaching with VIPKID. And most importantly, practice, practice, practice. Practice in front of a mirror, and practice with, a kid that you know. It might be your son, your daughter, or your niece, your nephew, or a kid that lives across the street. I don't care. But practice and do it in a fun and exciting way. Prepare for your class, because if you teach that first class well, they're going to keep coming back to you. So let's say you get 3 classes within one booking session. That's awesome, but make sure you prepare for each of them. And then this will help you in the long run, because you will be ready to teach even more lessons after you take the time to prepare for your first little bit. I probably did this for about a month. Just each class that I got, I would just take about, right before bed, I would literally like lay on my couch and just prepare and take notes and think in my mind what props I could use, maybe go get them, put them together, and organize everything at first. And then whenever you have consistent bookings, you just roll out of bed and you just sit down and teach, and it's like you do all these things without even thinking, and it's awesome. So yes, prepare, prepare, prepare.
So when I have a student that I am wanting to prepare for that class, so I can go into tomorrow. So here I go. And so I can click on the materials tab here over to the right. So I'm going to click that. I'm going to click that. And it's going to take me to this materials page. And that interactive slide is going to pop right up, and I am able to go through the slide. I can draw on the screen, so this is a good way to practice. As well as get familiar with how that lesson goes, and how to prepare props. So this is what I do, and then you can go over here and you can see what the lesson objectives are for that class. Now, something that I've found really helpful, and this one doesn't have it, but when you go over here to the parents' favorite classes, there can actually be a demonstration of how to teach this class. Like I said, not all of them have them, but some of them do. So you can watch those videos and watch real live footage of a class, of that class in particular. And so if you go down here to lesson notes, here's class info, and you can read all of these teacher comments about the class. You can check out an outline of the classes, suggested props for this class, suggested reward systems, tips and tricks for these classes. And then we're going to come back here in a little bit, and we're going to talk about this feedback option. And then you can click on other and go through and just read. So this is a really helpful tool for when you are preparing for your first class or first 10 classes, whatever it is. This is a good way to do that. You can access these things, I think yes, you can access them on your iPad as well. But I just have found that it's easier to just do it on your computer because you can see everything that you need to see, and especially watch those example videos. So I hope that this helps you prepare for your class. And little tip that I found whenever I first started out with VIPKID.
Tip number 4 is trial. So as soon as you are hired with VIPKID, check that certifications tab in your teacher portal and make sure that you are certified to teach trial classes. So this is super important. Trial classes are a student's very first experience, maybe like their first or second. I think they can do more than one trial. I'm not sure how many, but they can. But either way, it's one of their first experiences with VIPKID. And so you probably will get a lot of trials at first. So I recommend making sure you have that certification. And in the certification, they teach you exactly how to teach the trial classes. And so what's really neat is once you teach a trial class and a student decides, hey, I want to become a VIPKID student, you get a bonus. You get a $5 bonus for teaching trials. So not only is it worth it to help build your bookings, but it's also worth it to gain extra income and get that extra little incentive. So there again, go back to those workshops. There are workshops on trials specifically, and they have all kinds of really fun and exciting ideas to do in your trial to get those students to become VIPKID students. So trial classes, I absolutely love them. I think they're really, really fun, and I always make it a point to make sure that I do have fun. And sometimes you're going to get a student that is really kind of scared, and don't let that discourage you. I've literally done a lesson before with just me and Dino for like the first 5 minutes. So I talked to Dino and I had Dino repeat back to me. And eventually my student began to speak by the end of class. So you might run into that, but that's okay. Still make it fun and interesting. Have class with Dino, have class with Meg. Make it fun and make sure that you go to those workshops because trials are really going to be your sweet spot at first because the most likely, if they have you as their trial teacher, they'll start following you and then they will become a regular student once they become a VIPKID student. So trial classes are your friends. Get certified, and there's different trial class levels now. So get certified in all of those trial levels. They'll really, really, really help you. And you learn a lot along the way too about things that you can use within your classroom. So trials.
Again, we're going to go to that resource tab and we're going to hit certifications. And then we're going to go in major course. And these are those trial classes that I was telling you about that you'll want to get certified for. Because remember, trials are going to be your best friends at first. So these are all the different trial certifications that they offer. I am currently working on this one right here. The level 1 and level 2 plus trials. So this is like a revamp of the trial classes. They're supposed to be more engaging, more fun. And so this is kind of what it looks like getting certified for those. And then you'll go in and you'll pass a quiz and answer all these questions, hit submit, and then you are certified for that trial. But you'll want to go through all of those prep materials first and make sure you know and understand how to teach the class. So I suggest just getting certified in all of these. Take the time to do that, and that will also help you get those bookings.
I'm coming at you with tip number 5, which is announcements. So there's a couple of ways to stay up on the announcements that you get from VIPKID. So every Tuesday you get a weekly update sent to your email. It's from the Hutong, and they'll have all kinds of things that's going on with VIPKID. One announcement that I got this week was to film a video for my students that is after they've had their first class with me, they'll get sent to a video of me thanking them for taking my class and letting them know that I want to see them again. And so it's a way to get students to rebook me and to keep coming back to me. And so I found that in my announcements, and I took a link to this announcement feature and I did this. And so this is hopefully going to get me more consistent bookings, even though my schedule is very consistent, but I would always welcome more followers, more student followers. So this video is a great opportunity, and there's a link to it down below. And I think they open that up to anybody who catches it. So you're gonna wanna check that out. So whenever you are in your teacher portal, so here it is, you can go in and click on there's like a little bell up there. Where am I? There I am. You can click that, and that takes you to the announcements page, okay? So they'll send you announcements here. They have a couple of different things going on. Trial classroom, tips to increase student engagement, referral program. They've got all kinds of really helpful announcements and things like the one today that's going to help me potentially get more students. So check your announcements, check your email, read through that, know what's going on in the world of VIPKid so that you can be better prepared for when you are getting a full flood of students coming in. So always check those announcements. There's usually some pretty cool stuff going on, even if it isn't anything that can help you with your bookings. It's really interesting to know. They share all kinds of really helpful information about Chinese culture. And again, they'll announce like special workshops that you can get in on. So check those announcements, know what's going on. Super important. Okay. Now let's move on. Okay, so tip number 6 is profile, teacher profile. So when you are hired with VIPKid, they create a teacher profile for you, but you have to give them the information that you want them to know about you and to see about you. So there's a couple things you're gonna wanna do is to create your bio. It tells you how many words you can use, but what I started with mine is I listed my credentials, like my bachelor's degree, what it was in, and then I listed my experience working with kids, and then I got a little bit personal and told about my family, and I'd recently gotten married, and so, you know, just let them know. They want, like, it's really important to parents that they know that you are qualified to teach their students. So start out with those really important things and then move into a more personal side. So what I did is I wrote something and then I kind of like condensed it down to fit the amount of words that they suggest. You don't want to make it too wordy, so you want to use the simple language, you know, like how when we write something, you know, we like use a thesaurus and use all these really fancy words. Don't, just keep it super simple, easy to understand, but catching all those things that attract those parents to you. We want them to not only know that you're qualified, but get to know you. So be very careful with your bio, but have fun with it. And then another thing is your profile pictures. So I think you get to upload, you have your profile picture and then like, I think 2 more photographs. So I did one of my face. It was a professional picture that I had taken for my other job. It was a headshot. You don't have to get professional photos. I mean, hello, with all those editing apps that we have on our phone, and just, you know, your phone can make you look fantastic. So just make sure that your headshot is, you know, I do about from here up. Make it, you can do it in your classroom or something, just make sure that you can clearly be seen and that it looks professional. And then I have one of me singing. I sing all the time, so I have one of me singing on stage. And then I have one of my family. So those are my profile pictures that they see whenever they are, looking to possibly book me. And then another thing that's really important is once you are hired with VIPKid, you will make an introduction video. And that is something that I offer. If you are my referral, I will help you with your introduction video, and there's a link to mine in the description box below of what I did with mine, and it was super, super easy, but I do offer free help to my referrals. As far as you send me video clips, I will edit it all for you. If you are not my referral, but you still want help with your video, I will collaborate with you for a very small fee. And so just shoot me an email letting me know that you're interested in having me help you edit and recreate your introduction video. But go on ahead and check that video out after you watch this one, just so you can kind of see how I market myself for VIPKid. So that introduction video, it just shows kind of like my demeanor, I guess, on screen. And then I show them some of my teaching techniques. And then I tell them I can't wait to see them in my classroom. I think the whole video is like 50 seconds, 58 seconds. It's really, really short. But it has attracted students. And I actually have a student that has memorized my introduction video, and I'll have to post that on my YouTube channel. If I have already, it'll be in the description box, so you're gonna want to check that out. It's hilarious. She quotes the whole introduction video verbatim. So they do actually watch it and they do see it. And in some cases they memorize it. So, make it good. All right. So yeah, that's all that I have for your teacher profiles. So number 7 is kind of like a combo deal. So number 7 is booking tips, and we're going to talk about feedback, being set apart, and connecting with your students. So here we go. Some booking tips, some things that helped me get bookings right away is once you have had a class with a student, we are required as VIPKid teachers to fill out feedback for each lesson. And it's not something that has to be super long and super detailed, but we are required to do this. And some things that I really focused on were creating feedback that was complimentary and that was made sure to mention the things that they did well and the things that they need to work on, and then wrapped it up again with some excellent job today type things.
Look at a tip for effective feedback. So again, I will go into that student that I taught, and this will still show up in your classrooms. Even after you've taught your student, there'll be a little feedback button after you've taught your student that will show up right here. But what we're going to look at is this material section like we did earlier. So I'm going to click that. And something that I do when I'm creating effective feedback is I click this feedback template. Now, that is exactly what it is. It is a template. Don't just copy and paste what you see. So I always like to go through and read through these and find which one will adapt to my student the best. I like to click most recent. And then I will copy and paste. Yes, I copy and paste into the feedback portion of the class. So I'll copy and paste, and then I'll go back and I'll hit that feedback button that's usually right here, and then I'll input that in there. But then once I get that feedback in my classroom, I want to edit it. I want to make sure that it doesn't say in the lesson X began a new unit. No, I want it to say Nancy. So I'm going to put in Nancy's name, and I'm going to go through and I'm going to make sure, did she do well with the vocabulary words? Maybe she did well on job and paint, but she needs to work on that word earn. So I'm going to make sure that after I say she did these well, I'm going to go in and I'm going to suggest that she work on the word earn. And then we practice the sentence patterns. Yes, we did. Did she do them well? Then I'll just leave that. And Or I might add, and she did a great job with today's sentence patterns. And then I'm going to go in and put, oh, Nancy read a story about janitors and the importance of their job. And then I'm going to make sure that this doesn't say he, because Nancy is a girl. So I want to say she also practiced reading compound words and phonics words with the TH sound. And so I might list those words. And then if she struggled with any of those, I'm going to say, please practice the following words. And I'll put, teeth, or, math, the words that she struggled with. So these are good bones for feedback. And then just going in and personalizing them. And then I always like to end it with Nancy did a really great job in class today. I'm really proud of her. And then if you're new to VIP Kid, you're going to want to, and we're going to talk about that in a second, ask for feedback. So we're going to wrap this section up talking about that.
And that has been really helpful. Parents like to know exactly what their students did per class, what they did well, what they need to work on, and if they performed well overall. So focus on that feedback. And then what also helps you get bookings is getting those 5 Apple ratings. I am a 5 Apple teacher. That's why I put it up there, because it's something I've worked really hard for. And when you're first starting out, it is completely okay to wrap up your feedback with a little note that said, I would love to hear how I did today. Please leave me feedback. And so if you're brave enough to do that, I encourage you to just ask your parent of your student to leave you that feedback. Because once you start getting those Apple ratings is when you start showing up and people can, start booking you more easily. So get good at your feedback. And then the next thing is set apart. So don't go out and teach and be somebody that you're not. I'm a naturally perky person. So I'm myself, and I like to sing with my students. I like to play games. I like to be silly. So just connect with your students in your special way. Don't come to class and be a robot. Drag and drop. She plays with a ball. No, have fun with your student. There's that fine line of having fun and being silly, but making sure that you're teaching the content effectively, and then just being sure to be able to tell how your student's personality is. I have some students that like to be silly, and their parent is with them, and they're encouraging the silliness while we're learning. And then I have another student who's super serious. And so I kind of changed my teaching style. So just be prepared to do that and just be set apart from somebody else. And I'm going to wrap up this video with some things that I do with my students that kind of, I feel, set me apart. There's small things, and then there's some, big silly things that I do that I'm going to share with you. So be set apart. You can do this. You got this. And then last but not least is connect. So some of us might think well, how do I connect with my students? I can't just, call them up and connect with them. Well, the first thing you can do when you meet your student is to make a connection with them. That's that building rapport thing that you probably by now talked with your referring teacher, with your mock class mentor, and then with fellow teachers. Building rapport is super important. And so I might ask a student, I always ask them their name and how are they, but then I might ask them a question do you like ice cream? And I have a prop with ice cream. Or do you like superheroes? And then I have different apps on my phone with different things, and I'll ask them if they like them or if they don't like them. And I just have gotten to know my students. I have one student that is obsessed with Princess Elsa, and so instead of the hello song and goodbye song, we like to sing Let It Go. So that is one way that I have connected with that particular student. So Don't be afraid to ask them questions to get to know them. That is good conversational practice for them, and it's fun for you and them. And then another thing that VIPKID has a way to connect, and especially when you are getting those first few bookings, you can now go in and you can send your student what they call a gift, and it's like a postcard, if you will. So whenever you go into your student information, you can go in and click on that student, and then there's a little icon up here that's a present. And so it'll bring it up and you can send him a card. So I'm gonna send Alan just a little card. You used to be able to type, and I don't think that you can now. But still, just sending that little card to your student, especially at the beginning, will help you get those returning students. So you can connect by sending them cute little cards. They absolutely love that, and they'll send them back to you. I sometimes get them out of the blue from a student, I guess, that has got a hold of their mom or dad's tablet or phone, and they just send me some cards, and it's so cute, and I love that. I love it. And I'll send them one back. So that's a way to connect with your students. So do it in class, and there's a way to do it outside of class. So connect. So we want to have good feedback, practice that feedback, use the feedback that is in the materials section, be set apart, be you, be the special person that you are with your students, and then connect with your students. Connect with them in class and outside of class. So that was tip number 7, 8, 9, and 10. I don't know. My last and final tip, I guess this would be tip number 8, is I want to share some things with you that I do in my classroom just to kind of be set apart or make a connection or have fun with my students. So one thing that I do use all the time is my Dino doll. So me and Dino love to have fun in class. If you don't have a Dino doll, create a classroom mascot. It can be a stuffed animal that you have, and that stuffed animal is always in your class somewhere. Dino usually always makes an appearance. He likes to sing, so we might sing together. One time we were teaching the word silly, and I did this, and I made Dino have some blonde hair. I was like, Dino is silly. I couldn't stop laughing. My student couldn't stop laughing. And so, it's okay if it serves an educational purpose, and that helped me teach my student silly. So we did some silly things in class. Something that I always love to do, since I am a singer, I have this old broken microphone with a microphone sleeve. But I like to sing with my students, and so we'll have fun in class. We'll sing the goodbye and hello songs, and like I said, I had one student that really loved Let It Go, and so I'll be like, let it go. You want to sing? But anyway, have fun with that. Students love to sing, and even I have found when I have a student that won't say anything, and especially with trial classes, your student is going to be super shy. Not all of them, but some of them are. But when I would sing something, I'll be like, oh, I have 2 eyes. And they would automatically say, I have 2 eyes. And instead, I have 1 nose. And they would then repeat it because we were singing it. So that's just one tip that I have found really works within my classroom. And then another way, something that I love to do, and we kind of talked about it in the Connect section, is to just ask questions. So I always like to ask, I might show a picture of something, and I might say, what do you see? What is this? And get them to talk. I also might show them pictures of me. So when I teach that family lesson, I have a picture of my family on my tablet or my phone, and I say, this is my mom, and I'll bring it up and let them see that, and that lets them get an inside look into my life. So don't be afraid to do that either. That's how you make those connections. And a lot of times when I show kids pictures of my family, they'll either drag mom on screen or drag dad on screen or brother and sister, or they'll go get a picture and show me. And that's just one thing that I do that really gets a great response from my students and my students' parents. One thing that I also use, and I don't have it because I'm filming with my phone, but the app that I have really used is like, I think it's called Apples to Stars or Stars to Apples. I can't remember. But anyway, it is an app that you pay for, but it has a lot of wonderful reward systems in there. And I mean, I feel like it's worth it. I don't know who created it, but props to you. I'll put a link to it in the description box down below. I'm happy to support because it has supported me in my classroom. So check that app out. You can create your own reward systems on there. I absolutely love it. So that's something that I use in my classroom to make it more interesting. So yeah, that is all of the tips that I have. And hopefully if you do these things, your bookings will begin to roll in and become more consistent. And also I am here to help you. Even if you are not my referral, my email is in the description box down below. Please send me an email. I would love to answer your questions. If anything, you have any questions about anything I talked about, I'd be happy to answer them. If you just want to chit chat with me or connect with me, I would love to connect with you. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I would love if you would follow me. I'm trying to put out content daily, weekly. So please follow me. Please, 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 please. I'm begging you. Please follow me. Okay. Thank you so much for watching. And I hope you have a great day. Goodbye.